All right, so in this very first video, I want to walk you guys through how to go live with your scheduler in as few minutes as possible so that you can begin capturing your extra leads. So the very first thing that I want to show you here is how in 12 months we were able to capture an extra 18,000 leads, and from that we were able to book an extra 2,000 calls. So you can see here we generated around 10,000 calls directly from the scheduler, but over 12,000 calls in total. So we got 2,000 extra calls from the extra leads that were captured. This is 2,000 calls that otherwise would have never happened. Okay. Now let's say that your calls cost you on average $200. If you generate 2,000 extra calls, that's equivalent to an extra $400,000 in ad spend, which is just absolutely insane. Now let's say your calls are worth $1,000 to your business. For many of you it's much more, but for example, if you have a 5K offer and you close around 20% of them, that means your calls are valued at $1,000 each. 2,000 times 1,000 is 2 million. This would be $2 million straight to your bottom line because this didn't require additional ad spend to generate. This is the power of iClosed. So this is exactly what I want to show you and help you get set up in the next few minutes. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to click on AI Scheduler, and there's two things that we want to do real quick. We just want to make sure that we have our calendar connected and our availability set. So I'm going to click on calendar. I'm going to hit connect. This is going to prompt me to log into my Google account. I'll select the account. I'll hit continue. I'll scroll down and click allow. And then just like that, it will be connected. So from here, I just want to make sure that I have the availability configured properly. So I'm going to click on availability, make sure that I have the time in the hours correct. So 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. I have the right time zone. I have my event selected. And from here, I'm good to go. I can just hit save changes. Okay, so now that that's done, we can actually create the event. So you're going to click on events on the top here. And then we're going to go ahead and click on create new event. And so you're going to have two options here. If you're on the business plan, you can either create a strategy event or a discovery event. And to explain this as simply as possible for you, if you use a 2-call close system, then you first want to set up your discovery event, because that is the first call where you have a setter qualify the lead. And then the second call is the strategy event. This is where you're actually going for the sale. Okay. So in this example, I'm just going to show you how to set up the strategy event. So here we just type in paid ads strategy call. Then I can go ahead and select the location. I can add a short description and change the link and then hit save and continue. So the next step is to select your closers. So you might want to add yourself or a few of your closers, hit save and continue. And then from here, we can go ahead and update some of the other settings. So one thing I recommend here is to max the date range to 5 days. And this is just going to help you keep the booking window short so that you're minimizing your no-shows. Because if you allow people to book 10 days, 14 days into the future, there's a very high chance that they're going to no-show because either they're going to forget about the call or something's going to change in between the next 10 to 14 days. And so you want to make sure that you are striking while the iron is hot. You want to make sure that you're jumping on a call as quickly as possible with them, because obviously if they're booking, they're interested. At this moment, they are a hot lead, and so you want to get on a call with them as quickly as possible. So I recommend capping this to 5 days. That's just my recommendation. And then also checking this box will allow you to auto extend your availability so that you always have at least 5 days available. So let's say that today and tomorrow are fully booked out. It's going to extend your availability so that you still have 5 days for them to choose from. And what this does is it still keeps your booking window as short as possible, but it makes sure that there's still enough slots for them to choose from, because if you only have 1 or 2 days for them to choose from, there's a high likelihood that they're not going to be able to find a time that works for them, and therefore you will lose that booking. Okay, so of course you can change the duration of the event. Let's say I want to set it for 45 minutes, and then I'm not going to change anything here. I'm not going to dive into each one of these settings. I just want to help you guys go live as quickly as possible. But let's say I want to have at least 4 hours heads up before needing to jump on this call, just so that I can be prepared, so that I know that I can actually be at my desk prepared and ready for the call. So I'm going to set this to 4 hours, and then I'm going to hit save and continue. Now I'm going to go ahead and click on invitee questions. Again, I'm going to go over some of these things in much more detail in the next few videos, but here I can choose to either collect the phone number and name first or the email and name first. I'm going to go ahead and select the phone number because that gives me 2 ways of following up with them if for whatever reason they don't end up booking a call. So I'll be able to text them and call them. Of course, we still want to capture their email, and then in the next few videos I'll show you what to do with the invitee questions. But from here, this is essentially ready to be deployed. So I can hit save and continue. And then on the top right hand side, I'm going to click on embed. I'm going to click inline embed, or you can use a pop-up. It's up to you. Then you're going to hit continue and you're going to hit copy code. Okay, so from here, you want to head over to where you have your funnel. And I have mine in high level here. So I'm going to use this custom HTML box. I'm going to open the code editor here. I'm just going to select all of this, delete it, and then paste the new code in. Hit save. And then I'll save this page. And then I'll go ahead and preview it. And if we scroll down, we can see the scheduler is live. And now one thing I want to do with you here is just show you the power of the instant lead capture. So if I put in my information, I put in my email, and if I do not hit continue, if I do not book a time, that lead is still captured. So if I go back over to iClosed and I go to the global data here, you will see my information here popped up as a potential lead. So if I open these up, I can see the additional details like phone number. If I have the invitee questions here, I can see that information here. Obviously I have the name, I have the phone number, I have the email. Amazing. So this is essentially all I want you to do right now is just embed your scheduler on your funnel. In the following videos, I'm going to help you set up all the disqualification, the routing, your pixel, etc. But for now, this is all I want you guys to do. So go ahead and take action on this, and I will see you in the next video.